Good evening. Welcome to Hanging Out in the Crib. We are the Battle Pirates Crib gang, and I am the VP Professor. With me tonight are Tito.
Hello, everybody.
And Dr. Death.
Hello.
And Disturbed God.
Hello, people.
And Hefe.
Howdy, y'all.
And tonight I'm joined by Elysian Space Dust with its logo of a puking artichoke, which is really appetizing to have on your beer. But
I think that's a hop. I think that's a hop, isn't it?
Oh, it's a hop.
Yeah.
It was a puking artichoke.
It's an IPA, which is very high in hops in order to preserve the beer from the trip from England. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a hop.
All right. Just drink it.
Okay. Since that is doing effect fast because Larry couldn't figure that out. Okay. Let's go.
Well, I was sober when I couldn't figure it out either.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll put the slides on.
We covered that last show.
Whether I was drunk or not.
Larry, you're a little bit wonky on your. Is anybody else hearing that?
Yeah, he is a little wonky.
Yeah, it's like losing a bit of connection, but well, we can cope with that.
I'm totally confused.
Okay.
I was going to start the slides, and we'll talk about the raid. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Good, I guess. Okay. So we'll start with what fixes. Base parts will no longer be incorrectly displayed as a resource. It's refunded when you recycle a building. Don't put Red Bull in your gas tank.
She's trying to fix it, Larry. Can you hear us, Larry?
Trying to. I think she's trying to wake up Engine.
Yes.
She wants to give it wings.
Yes. It's a new form of biodiesel.
Well, if you want to do that, you can just put sugar straight in your tank too. That'll.
Yeah.
Reminder. Draconian Armadas will be removed from the game. Goodbye, Draconian Armadas.
Larry, do you want to reboot or something?
Do I want to what?
You're very.
Yeah.
Your connection. You sound a little underwater. Not as bad as Dr. Death gets at times, but you're definitely a little underwater.
Talking about me, Hefe?
Yeah.
Because I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, because we're having a hard time hearing your connection. Something's off with your connection.
Do we want someone else to present?
Well, do you want to reboot or try to fix it? I can talk about this for a little bit if you want.
All right, you want to take over and I'll reconnect?
Yeah, that'd be great. This is just a reminder that the Draconian Armadas are going to be gone after the raid starts tomorrow, and they won't reappear. And Miss Brittany,
you want to build Tide Seekers if you don't have them built already.
Yeah, because I think this is going to be some issues with. I think there's going to be some issues with how we get the. We elevate the threat levels because it takes so much longer if you're not using Tide Seekers, if you're using Hellrace and whatnot. But yeah, that's the end of them. Which it'll be interesting to see how they potentially might adjust the targets and or adjust the sector points that are provided by those targets in the future.
Well, I'm also hoping that they put a search bar in for it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I was hoping like a sort of fleet like the 100 South, the Elite one, so you could hop to the orange level as well, hitting just a few of those.
Larry, do you want to do a mic check?
Yeah, how am I sounding?
You sound much better.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
That fixed it.
Deal. Okay. Were you guys done talking about Armadas?
I think so. We only mentioned, we had Brittany in her funeral dress, and that was just to say goodbye to the Draconian Armadas.
That is Brittany.
It is. Wow. Yeah. The thick Brittany. Well, there's some other pictures from behind or make it much more obvious. But go ahead.
Okay. Raid briefings. Oh. Yeah. All right. So briefing. So raid starts tomorrow. Usual staggered times. Relocation disabled tomorrow morning. Fred. Blah blah blah. Usual stuff. No threat bar. So then targets. So no tier S. Nothing elite this time. Then you've got tier A, where Kixeye claims you're gonna need a kick Canon. Tier B, which Centurion and Crusaders R5 should, Punisher should, because I have
Yeah,
5 Crusaders
I
R5.
put the should that way because they have to change a lot the target, so that can be possible. Because I saw complete fleets of Centurions trying the tier B in the preview, and they were not even finishing the target and were dead. So they have to turn down a lot of targets for this to be true.
Yeah, this is all. We'll have to wait and see what players can really do. So yeah, we got let's target. Again, 5 gold for 600,000 points is not generally a good deal. You know, I think I know I look to do at least 500,000 per one coin in a raid, and so 5 coins for 600,000 is pretty lousy.
And for those that don't have a fleet and are going to try this, get in mind that 5 gold is the minimum. If you get more damage than 5 gold, you are going to pay the Blitz for that amount of money, not for 5. And you can only do it 10 times. So after 10 times, you will have to kill another 74 to do it again. So don't think that you can go there, smash all your ships inside one of those, kill it, and start to click the button and redeem till you get all the points and get your Cannoneer and your Millennium and your high velocity runs, because that's not going to happen.
And what's the hit down multiplier?
To be determined, I guess.
Yeah, I heard that. I guess if it's below your level, you're not going to get as many points out of it.
Yeah, that's what that means. But you know, it's something they've done in the past. But yeah, I don't think we know what the cutoff is or the penalty is at this point in time, because sometimes they appear to be a little random. You know, that you get penalized backwards in some instances, where the 80 was more penalized than the 85, and yeah, it was a little random at times. But yeah, this is yet to be disclosed by Kixeye.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's the 74. That falls into the tier 5 category. That's the highest level targets that we have in this raid. So there should be no penalty on hitting the highest level targets in the raid.
And paying for them.
They shouldn't, but do you remember the first of the Hell Raid campaigns that if you were level 80, you were punished on tier 8 or tier 5?
Right, but then there was an S target in that. This one has no S target.
Yeah.
So far there is no. So I hope it's not. They don't repeat the same mistakes as they say. But well, we will talk later about memory on Kixeye.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to punish the one.
Paying.
Go ahead, Larry.
Larry?
All right. I'm having trouble hearing everybody, so I'm going to apologize in advance if I'm talking over anybody. But should we keep going?
Well, no. I was going to say maybe they're trying to punish the moderator that blitzed the entire last raid by level limiting it. That's one possibility, but you know, who knows? But yeah, I guess we can go on. I mean, the big thing we're going to learn is how much time is this all going to take, and you know, once we get to the next slide, I think we'll see this is going to be significantly more time. Oh, this is a little survey I did. I think the BP, the Battle Pirates Crypt community is in better shape, much better shape.
Yeah, that's That's a lot higher percentage with the Millennium Gun than I was expecting. 42%. And that means everybody, all those 42% took one of those two deals. And again, that's a pretty high response.
Yeah, I can't remember if we were on the air with the Friday show when, or it was the after show where we announced that you were getting 500 gold for the 1999, in addition to the 8 days of build tokens and the gun blueprint. I can't. Does anybody recall if that was the after show or is that the end of us being on air for an hour and 58 minutes?
It was the after show.
Okay, it was the after show. Okay.
Because you guys announced it after I left, and I didn't find out about it till the next day, and they'd already fixed it.
Okay.
They fixed it while people was buying it, because there were people that got to send a ticket to the custom service because they were locked into the shop and they couldn't buy either the old one or the new one. They got to wait for them to get fixed.
Yeah.
Well, so when they won, they can fix things ASAP.
Yes. Yeah, I heard they woke up Doom Rooster to deal with this. But, yeah, as you see, 43, close to like 49% of us have the Cannoneer, which is much higher than all the other projections I've seen. So either the people that didn't vote or the people that listen to shows are much better off than people that don't. And all the red is the Ironclad, green Centurions, orange is Punishers, and we had a couple people that had blank hulls or hadn't built, had blank hulls that they were waiting to build with. Is the black?
Well, I can explain these numbers real simple. Real simple. You do have high numbers showing that you got people with the Cannoneers with the Millennium Gun. That is correct. But you got to think about something. It's the top players in the game that are always trying to stay on top of all the information. So they watch the shows, they watch the forums. Those are the players that got the Cannoneers. Those are the players that are running the top tech. Those are the players that are trying to stay on the top cutting edge of the game. You know what I mean? So when you polled the community, the people that are watching us are the players that are wanting that information and generally are the players that are in the top echelon of this game.
So, we could go cause and effect either way.
Right.
Watching the show causes you to get a Cannoneer, is what I was thinking, Dr.
Causes you to be one of the top players in the game. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. especially with the motivation we give here, huh? Watching those slides.
Yeah, we've been so motivated lately.
Waiting for the next show to happen just to see what comes new.
Yeah.
That sort of motivation. Okay. Yeah, there's motivation coming. Trust me.
Do you know something that motivates more than that? Because here we say that a pair of those pull people more than 3 tracks in front of them.
Yeah, people are motivated by large tracts of land. Okay. Let's move on from the survey. Well, actually, the thing I thought was really interesting, and it makes sense, right, is, like 7 players out of 8 with Cannoneers apparently took that deal with the Millennium Gun. And when you think about it, it does make sense, right? Because if you're not coining, it would have been really tough to get the Cannoneer last raid.
No, it wasn't that hard. I mean, this was the first time I gave any coins to Kixeye in 3 years, or bought coins, and I bought coins in over 3 years, and that was because 1999 got me 500 coins, 8 days of builds, and the blueprint, and I couldn't pass that. I woke up the next morning and realized what I did, but this is
Shame. It was late.
No, it's like, oh my god, how did this happen?
I want to know something. Are you now available for the custom service?
But I think it was for the 500 gold. It was such a good deal for anybody that knew about it that I think it really skewed the numbers.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, let's move on. Sorry. Okay. Briefing. So now here's the other thing you're going to see in this first, call it transition raid. They're going to give us access to some old raid campaigns, B and C sets, and they said they're going to be reduced points. So if you're looking for some of the top prizes, I don't know about doing all these old targets. It's going to take you a while, but it's possible.
Yeah, but I think there is a cap to the number of times you can do it. So I don't think you can get maybe the weapon, the special, just doing that campaign. But maybe a part of it, which makes sense in a way. If you are using old tech, that you are getting the tech slowly, adding to your shipyard, so you can build something. But if not, what is the point of doing this campaign? You would never need any more raid fleets. Just one of the 4 cycles will be enough for you.
Yeah.
Right. In the upper right-hand corner, I put rumors in. Oh yeah, I want to thank Tito for helping me with some of the slides, because I get too angry at times, especially with the raid ones, putting all together and having things not make sense, and then being the only one that's dealing with it. So Tito helped me with some of the slides, but I put the word rumors in the right-hand corner, and that deals with how this old raid campaign information was initially released. It was like 2 or 3 days ago, where on a player/mod blog that Kickside decided to release this information. And I just think it's so backwards in communication with the community, because that should have been Doom Rooster or Scarlet or GDR Raken, GD Raken, one of those people releasing this information, not on a player/mod blog that you got to go to that blog to figure out what's going to happen with the game. I found that very disappointing.
Yeah, and especially releasing things should be done in the forums. That's the official channel for Alas. You don't have to make people read a blog, because that is not necessary. That's an extra that people do just to get more info, likely they watch shows and alike. But the official channel should be in the forums.
And also, I don't think that moderators should be, unless there's a special tag that they get, I don't think moderators should be releasing official information either, because there's 6 moderators. They make like 15 posts a day, because normally how I try to keep current, at least historically, not so much anymore because Doom Rooster doesn't make a lot of posts, is I would go to Doom Rooster's profile and I would look at his posts and replies and try to keep current with the game. Now you have different moderators posting quote unquote breaking news on the game, and a lot of what they're doing, if you're interested in watching them trolling players and other things like that, that's fine. But if you're trying to get all your information in 5 minutes a day, or 5 minutes, 10 minutes a week, you can't do that anymore, because there ought to at least be if moderators are going to be releasing information, there at least ought to be some sort of tag, like the Kickside tag, that pops up when Doom Rooster posts something as a post. There ought to be some way to get to relevant information, not having to read through 60 posts a day from the moderators in order to find something that's relevant to playing the game.
Yeah, some number of months ago, I made a blog post and I said, read the pinned post. The important information comes up in the pinned posts. And that's not true anymore. You got to be like hunting all over the forums, read every freaking discussion. And yeah, it's too hard. And, we've been hammering Kickside on their communication for months, and it's been getting worse. And this month has been one of the worst in a long time. When they released the deal, the limited time offer for the Millennium Gun, they floated that in the town hall, and they said, hey, are we going to offend the players? Are we going to, how's this going to be received? And I said, the difference between offending the players and not offending the players is going to be your communication and what you say about why you're doing this. And they took that and they released the limited time offer, and they said absolutely nothing. until a few days later, till I don't know, Doom Rooster responded to one of the tinfoil hat people or something, and it's really
That's
bad right now.
that's our last slide. I mean, there is the counteract of when they do officially post something, because they did post that the day of, and then they posted like 36 hours later. But everybody's got to hold on. That's the last slide where we got special graphics for that one.
I'm sorry.
I just, what I think? I think, I don't have a problem if mods talk to Kicksite. And if mods get information to answer player questions and they see that the players, you got freaking 10 pages of players asking the same question, instead of burying the answer in that 10 pages of questions, they know that's a question everybody wants to know. They should pin that answer, as an add-on to one of the posts that they've got pinned. Just like, that happens all the time. You look up, you see an update, like, and then you see that one, it shows that something's been added to that update. You know what I mean? That's how it should be done. That way we get that information. The community knows, hey, we need to go look at that and see what's been added. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the problem at times is something that we also provoke it. It's not just this show where the moderators will show, or the Forsaken calls in the Battle Vortex, and you will find some moderators going there, and they spoil us with some info because we ask, and if they have the info, they give it to us, and that's good from the moderator side. The problem is that when that info at times is not good, because then it's when Kickside shields behind, it wasn't us who said that. That's the only problem I have with them releasing the info. But mostly of the time, they give accurate info and even faster than any of the other Kickstarter channels that they use. So, but the problem is that at times to get all the info, you have to go everywhere because it's not in one place anymore. It's just spread everywhere.
Okay. Should we move on? The bottom three, I think, are the payouts for completion of the main map targets for the raid. Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5. There's no Tier 6. There's no S target this go round.
So let me point something out here that you might want to think about when you're doing this raid. So if you look at the Tier 3, right? You've got 60K from the targets, and you got 60K completion bonus, 120K total. Okay, so half the points are in the completion bonus. If you look at Tier 5, again, it's about the same thing. About almost exactly half the points are in the completion bonus. If you look at Tier 4, you've got 450K from the targets.
It used to be 325 for the completion, and it was reduced to the numbers. They have spread part of the completion bonus in between the targets, and they also have lost, I think, is 15 or 25,000 points in total.
So here's my point here. The Tier 4 points are weighted towards the targets. So if you find that one of these targets is maybe easier than the others,
I was going to go with juicy, but go ahead.
Juicy.
Yes.
If one of these targets is juicier than the others, if you can do it for low damage, it might make sense. Look at these points, right? To just do the same target over and over, right? If you do the 57 four times, you're going to get 720K. Okay.
Yeah, but get in mind that is what they punish. They don't punish never the completion, but they punish the target. So if you are at a high level and you hit that 57, you are never going to get those 180,000 points.
Okay. Well, that's good to know too.
Wait. Could you say that again, Tito? I didn't understand that.
Yeah. His point is good. If you're below under level 80, that's what they punished last time. If you are hitting Tier 4, you are not going to get 180,000 points for doing the 57. But if you complete them all, you are going to add to 200,000 for completing the 4 targets. So if you go and focus on hitting one target and you are over 80, if they keep with the same standards, you're not going to get that same amount. So you will have to repeat that target a lot of times before you get it. But well, it's one way to do it.
Yeah, so that's a fair point. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is look at the points you're getting for the damage you're getting. If the 57 damage is in the same neighborhood as the 51, and you're below call it the point nerf level for tier 4, whatever it is, it might make sense to just hit the 57 over and over, or the 55 over and over. Sometimes some of these targets are just easy for certain ships, and but maybe you'll get lucky. And my point is, look at the damage you're taking for the targets you're doing, especially on tier B and tier 4. Sorry. And use your head, do a little math,
and also consider everybody. After day 1, it may work out as being a good strategy, but on day 2, once everybody else has figured that out, normally the way these targets spawn is once you kill let's say 57's the good one to hit. You kill a 57 and there's a 25% chance the 57 will show back up. Could be a 55, 53, 51. So if everybody's hitting that 57, there won't be any on the map day 2. Is that the way it's still working? Because I've been hitting S targets, the last umpteen raids, and I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, the prime target always seems to be short in the raid.
Yeah, well, and it's the mechanism that Hefe just said, and that's why. So yeah, that's I guess something to watch out for if there is a target that's significantly easier. We'll just have to wait and see.
Now I want to throw a little rant in here if I can, gentlemen. All right, I'm a coiner. I know a lot of coiners, and we traditionally, as a matter of fact, I can't remember any time in the last 2 years that I haven't finished my raid within 2 hours after it started. I've always hit the elite targets, always knocked my raid out quick, and I'm willing to spend the coins to do that. Not having an elite target is a slap in my face, and I've been hearing this from a lot of other coiners that I know. We don't want to sit there, each of these, looking at the 75s in the previews, they were taking 10 minutes to kill. You know what I mean? Now you got 3 targets in the A set, so you got a half an hour, and you're only going to earn 2.7 million points for a half an hour of gameplay. So you're only going to get 5.4 million to do to play for out of an hour. So you're looking at
so if
you want to go after everything. If you want to go after everything, you're looking at what, 24 hours of grind that you're going to have to do.
I don't know. I calculated that if you were going for all the single targets and the shards, you are needing 105. So if you divide 105 millions by 2.5, or a bit more of 2.5, it's crazy the grinding we have to do. So they are punishing us each time more. They say that they listen to us, but each time the raid target is longer and longer, and I guess that at this point you will have to load a new map just to go to the other side of the target.
Well, I'm not sure who us is, but I don't know.
I just know, I know a lot of coiners that I talk to, right? And all the coiners that I know are people, they get their raid done in the first 2 hours of the raid, and then they're out hitting bases, or they're helping their alliance, or they're doing whatever else they want to do. But you know the group, because you can look in the leaderboards every raid, and we're always over 100 million points in that first couple hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the way we play. We don't mind spending the coins to do it because that's what we want to do. If we have to spend longer than a couple hours, it becomes a chore, and that's not fun to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we're saying on tier 5, we're saying 6 minutes per target, or did you come up with another number?
Well, in the previews, everybody was taking 8 to 10.
Okay, 8 to 10.
Well, they were also trying to figure it out.
So 27 minutes. So yeah, okay, like 5 million an hour of seat time. Okay.
Yeah. Now that's just crazy.
You're talking 100 million points. That's 20 hours of gameplay over a 4-day raid. That's 5 hours a day.
It's another 2-bucket raid, as I like to call them. Should we move on to some, all right. People are probably tired of us hearing us, rant about.
Yeah. All right. Uranium is the usual amounts of uranium. I'm not even.
And the Man of War is still in play.
Okay.
Now the
All right,
question
let's
is, are
talk
they going
prizes.
on the Man of War? Are they going to take and lock the holes again out on it this raid, or is it going to come after the raid?
No, it shouldn't happen at all because it's a previously existing target. It shouldn't
Yeah.
happen at all.
Well,
based
it
on
is
what
The
they've
rule is
told us.
for new targets. So
Okay.
since it's not a new target, I guess you can keep using the defender behind the arenas or whatever you want to use.
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about the primary prizes here. Again, you've got these two, call it tracks.
Mhm.
You've got the Cannoneer track with the Millennium Gun, high velocity rounds, the lower end of Centurion, Pack, and nuclear accelerators. All solid choices for the points.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you
considering
have
a lot of us spent either spent 90,000 for the Cannoneer and 10 to 20 bucks for the Millennium Gun. These are
Yeah. The only
Yeah.
thing I have is with these three: the Punisher, the Railgun, and the Armor Piercing. That seems that they must be something that people buy a lot and don't buy, then buy again a lot, because the price is fluctuation way too much. Armor Piercing, I think, was over 4 million last raid. The Railgun was 1 million, but the Punisher, I think, was a bit more expensive than the Centurion on last raid. So. And now are even. So for the people that last raid took the Punisher and now seeing the Centurion, the Punisher, and the save, it's like a slap on the face.
Well, I'm a little bit puzzled by the fact that normally one side does one thing and the other side does another, but the Punisher, Railgun, Armor Piercing shells, I'm not sure what purpose that serves, because this appears to be the defender side. And why wasn't the Omega Behemoth or something
or any
else?
other sort of UAVs? Because normally there is a low level of UAV of the weapon that they are releasing.
And then on top of that, if you are a lower or mid-level player and you don't have the Punisher yet, you really need the nuclear accelerators. The armor piercing shells definitely beef up the D110. But if you ain't got the nuclear accelerators, that's my Punisher is weak without the nuclear accelerator.
So you can only take one or the other at each step of this ladder, but you can switch back and forth. So you can take Nuke, Excels, Railgun, and Punisher. So yeah, it's not too bad. Now on this defender side, right? You've got the new UAV Special, and the Alpha Behemoth, which is a UAV hull, and we're going to go through the blueprints and all these in just a few minutes. But here's the thing, and I don't know that this has ever happened before. So at this step of the ladder, you've got new prizes never before available on both sides, which means everybody, even the biggest coiners around, are going to have only one or the other. And
that for me is the biggest slap on, because he said that they were afraid that releasing the whole last month and not the specials and the weapon was something that went against us a lot. They saw how the low performance of that tier 5 or 6 Cannoneer, whatever you want to call it, on those targets, and now they are slapping you again, because you know that you need a high velocity if you want to do a raid with Cannoneers, but you also know that without the UAV overdrive, the Alpha Behemoth with 5 weapons slots only and the Cesium Scarab is not going to work that well.
Yeah, so we're going to get into that a little more in a few minutes. But
I was saying that I was expecting at least that in the low tier there was the special that came with the drag carrier list, so people could have that if they cannot get that one. No.
Oh, the shoot, what is it? The battery?
I think it was battery, UAV battery, I think it was called.
Yeah, UAV battery is the other. Yeah, is the older special that is associated with the most recent. Well, not the most recent because it's like a couple years old, but the most recent generation of UAVs, because they've really changed their dynamic from like the ones you put on the Atlas versus the one that you put on the Draconian carrier. It's a whole different mechanism in play. So, well, we can get into that a little bit later. But I
Yeah,
did put a nice smiley face next to the nuclear accelerator. For anybody that doesn't have it, it's a good price, and you should get it no matter what. It adds,
It takes one spot less from you getting tokens in the Forsaken mission also, so it's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yep.
But again, you're never gonna get UAV overdrive if you get a lot high velocity rounds unless they throw it in the hull raid. I mean,
but the hull raid for me, one of the
but it's
issues
over
I
at
have
that point. It's over at that point.
The thing for me is that if they keep with the same rules they have till now, they normally don't release the same special weapon or hull till 3 months ahead. So yeah, 3 months have passed. So by the whole store, this is not going to be there if they keep on the same rules they have. And if you look in the past, you see that they were holding on that, because if we were looking each of the hulls stores, you only were seeing the first of the Conqueror hulls that they released at that time. Likely, for example, in August, it was only the Revenge, when everybody was expecting for the Vendetta. If you remember, many people took the Apollo instead of the Vendetta on the second of that race season, and they were upset because they couldn't get the Vendettas after, and they got to give them in one of the TLCs. So that's, for me, is the problem. By the time we get access to the UAV, it's going to be April, and by April, maybe the UAV overdrive is useless.
Yeah, and if we only had a whip, we might know whether to purchase one thing versus another versus what's going to happen in the FM. But we should move on because we got a lot of slides to go before.
Well, I want to bring up what Death was talking about in the pre-show.
Okay.
Which is, how do you make your decision, right? HV rounds or UAV overdrive, and apparently, almost half of our viewers are running Cannoneers with Millennium guns. So we're all in this boat of thinking, should I take high velocity rounds and refit? And Death, if you want to chime in here,
my opinion. Yeah, my opinion is real simple. I'm going to wait and see the raid itself. When the raid starts, I'm going to take my Cannoneers out. They've got the Millennium guns on them. I'm going to see how they perform in the target. And if I can kill the target for a reasonable cost without the high velocity rounds, then I'm going to go ahead and grab the UAV overdrive so that I don't miss out on a special and fall behind, because I know high velocity rounds will be out next raid. But if I go out and I hit this target and I know I'm going to need the high velocity rounds to be able to do the raid at a reasonable cost, then I'm not going to grab it. And I may not grab the Alpha Behemoth either, because chances are, I don't want to build another hull that's incomplete.
Yep. All right. And that's fantastic advice. And I think I'm going to follow that as well. So I wanted to get that out there for all of us. Let's move on.
Okay.
All right. In the locked limited store, right, to unlock this, you're going to have to go through all the prizes in at least one of those sides of the ladder. You've got the limited shards. So is this right? Gamma shard times 5 for 2 million?
Yeah. I checked it in everywhere that there was info about it, and nobody has changed it yet. So you get 5 shards for 2 million, so you can get 2 gammas. I guess that they have evaluated the value of this hull with the Omega Behemoth. So that Omega Behemoth has something we have to see yet, or I'm not sure about that.
Right. And the gamma is really nice for countermeasures. So you want that in your defense.
And I mean, personally, I don't own one yet. I mean, for 4 million, I'm gonna own that bitch. But the putting the hammers on them, there wasn't. Now that we got it seems like a really good weapon. Using the hammer cannon on them, it seems like it's a good potential solution if you want to go down that left-hand path. You want to go down that left-hand path and skip over the alpha and go with the gamma. It seems like a cheaper and potentially better solution until we know more about the alpha.
But the thing to remember is the base build time on the Gamma is what, almost 3 times more than the base build time on the Alpha.
Was that like a 10 to 15 day all build?
I think it was 8.
8.
I can double check, but yeah, can somebody double check that? Because
Well,
when I
will in
looked
a
at them,
second.
it wasn't that different.
Okay. All right, let's keep rolling.
Yep, let's roll.
Unlock normal store. So ship build tokens. This is the 5 days, 10 hours that we often see
Yeah.
of tokens available. And then we've got Harlock's version of the Cannoneer, Harlock's version of the Ironclad, and then Visago's Punisher. So if you want to take these limited hulls and one of the sides of the ladder you're going to be in, and the tokens, you're going to be talking a 100 million point raid.
Gamma Behemoth is 5
Yes.
days, 1 hour for the whole.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, 5 days, 2 hours technically, but that's with R&D 30 and an engineer.
Okay. All right, so not so bad. But anyway, yeah, all this stuff at once. This could be an expensive raid, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's
And
105 millions.
And Michael Jordan, MJ bought the Visago Punisher for 50 million and built it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Not
6
happy.
mil.
Yeah, and the red sector has not yet come into the game, and by the time it comes, probably when you go with that, we say, hey, with this ship you cannot enter.
yeah. So here's the thing, right? The Visago's Punisher is pretty good on the old style mines, but if Kixeye holds true to their pattern, the old style mines are going to be going away, and they'll be replaced by this style of raid target, where the Punishers are not really your best ship. So, you know, if you get the 6 million Visago Punisher, then you got to build it.
Can somebody do a build check on that one? I think that one's about 14 days.
That one was long, if I recall.
Yeah, I'll check it.
Okay.
All right,
This.
we'll keep going.
To be honest, I think the Visago's Punisher at this point's more just if you need it for a collectible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to grab it, but it's a 17-day build for just the whole.
17. Okay, there we go.
17.
16 days,
I think it goes.
22 hours, so.
Yeah, it goes. I think with the Man of War's owners on the same collection.
Yeah. I've only seen a couple people use them, too.
I saw. And I don't know if you saw, but TSM from the Forsaken also used it on these targets. I think he lasted 5 or 10 seconds.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
Whatever. That's what she said. Go ahead.
All right, and then some limited components, the stun armor, which, you know, some people built cannoneers with them. I think now we're starting to realize that maybe that wasn't the best idea. But here's that armor again if you want to spend 10 million points for some more of these. Don't know why.
Yeah, I was one of who started with that, seeing what the info we were getting from the hull, as George normally says. But that was a mistake. I got to refit. Thanks God I only had it on one.
But we only get limited. I mean, this is another communication issue. As far as I don't know, I'll be quiet. We need to stay on time.
No, they came out
The
and
problem is
said
agility
stuff
system,
was-
because agility system last rate it was 1 million or 1.5 million. I don't recall well, and now it's 5 millions. I think that's just a shade way from Kixeye, because they know that people with cannoneers, they are going to go straight for the 6 millions, open the unlocked store, because they will have the weapon on the hull, and go straight for the tokens so they can make the refit the cheaper possible and then start to do the raid. This agility system 4 is something that people normally run out. They always need more. And making it 5 millions is just a way to try to stop them from doing that. That's the way I see it.
I have another theory.
And only on the first day.
Yeah, because you have to do it. So in the first day, you will have to go. If you are like Dr. there that maybe finish it in the first day or in the first 2 hours, you don't have a problem. But for the rest of the people that go on a more slow pace, it's going to stop them a lot. Because if they want, they have to get 25 millions first. Well, 25, 6 million from the weapon, that goes to 31, and I think to redeem all the tokens is something between 13 and 14 million. So you are asking the first day to get 45 millions at least,
But
just
see,
to fix
see,
yourself.
that was my whole point of my rant, though, is I'm not going to be able to do it in 2 hours this time.
Yep.
That's going to be
on the other side. I look at the agility system 4, because I spend some of my spare time selling Gucci purses on the street. And when I sell them for $25, nobody wants to buy the motherfuckers. When I sell them for $150, I can't keep them in stock. So, that's sort of my theory on the agility system 4. We can move on.
No, a lot of builds do not use this. So yeah, it's not like a must-have for this raid cycle. I mean,
but we don't. Wait,
No,
but you know what?
It's
Here's
not needed for this one, but most of the tanks we are using use it. So
here's all I'm going to say about this. All right, we know there's supposed to be stun in the targets, right? We know in the preview nothing was being stunned. Nothing. It didn't matter how close or far away from the target you were. The stun was affecting the turrets in the target, not affecting the ships in the target.
Sweet.
We don't know what changes kick size made to the targets. And agility 4 and this armor may end up being necessary.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's keep rolling. Now let's talk about the new stuff. Get to the nitty gritty. Cesium Scarab UAV, new UAV, hell of a lot more damage than we've seen in any other UAV. Got this 8-second reload, 1590 damage, and then it's kind of close to the D110R, one of those Forsaken Mission UAVs a while back, but it does a whole lot more shots per swarm, per hop. I don't know. Are we going to go into the nitty gritty of how the UAVs work?
well,
I don't know.
My concern here is a few days ago for $20 you were getting the Cannoneer tokens, the gold, and also the weapon. If I get the drone, do I get the 2 girls as well?
No, you do not get the 2 girls. No,
Oh, see, we're being ripped.
Human slavery is wrong, people. All right, you can't buy them.
They could be our reload engineers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm only I'm only going to tell you once. I won't tell you again. Anyway, so yeah, this is new UAV, does a lot more damage than other UAVs. UAVs have not been relevant for a while. We don't have really a good UAV hull. I mean, I don't know if you want to put the Cesium Scarab on drag carriers.
Drag carriers, in the last time I saw somebody using them in a stream for a TLC, didn't do much. So I don't think you can keep using them to hit targets that are not old-fashioned or low-tech.
Yeah.
Last time I used my drag carriers was to scrap them for resources because they are worth 120 mil of each.
I never ever built a single drag carrier, actually.
I built a full fleet and I loved them. They were great for the Forsaken Mission, and they changed over the new targets and they were utter crap because everything got shot down.
Yeah, I mean, we could. I don't know if we have time to talk about. We could carry over a lot of this to the Friday show, as far as re-explaining, the current generation. The top cesium and the D110 and the D100 are all the what I consider the current generation of UAVs, even though a couple of them are couple years old. But yeah, it's a little tricky. I think we'll give a couple of clues. Some things you should remember from a couple of years ago and how they work. But they don't. It doesn't work like the rest of the stuff does, so it's going to be a little tricky. And the big thing that I'm worrying about is if I go down the left-hand route, so to speak, the Cannoneer route, I already have the Cannoneer and the Millennium, and skip over the right-hand side, I'm really afraid that there's going to be a ballistic UAV or a UAV I want that's going to show up in the FM right away. And I will feel uninformed when I see that after I've claimed something else.
Because that's kind of what happened with the Drat carriers. They released the bomber UAV, and then the next week or so in the Forsaken mission, they released the assault UAV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you see, the splash on that thing gets crazy once you add the special in. It's got 20 splash to start with. As the story evolves, you'll see that 20 splash gets.
Well, you got 10. You get a bonus from the hull and then a bonus from the special.
No, this is just the weapon. I'm progressing. This is just that's why I reordered things. So,
let's
that is just from the weapon itself.
Okay, so let's talk the overdrive then. This is the special that you may or may not get, depending if you get HV rounds. 11% weight, damage bonus, splash bonus, so that'll take your 10 up to 14.5. Chain count +1, which means you're going to hit one more target, and it also ups your chaining range from 10 to 25. So,
no, it adds 25 as I recall.
Sure, because it doesn't show the plus.
No. When it came to UAVs and chaining, the highest number is the only number that counts.
Yeah.
Can somebody that's
because they found that out.
Put that together.
I'm pretty sure Dr. Death is right. It's the highest number that counts.
Well, can somebody that's in the game equip this and see what the chaining range is? Because I can't remember at this point. But for some reason, I thought it was adding it.
So the first time they did this with the turret defense.
Did you check it?
No, I'm in the middle of a 97 mine right now.
Okay, I'll check it then.
So you see that there's no plus in front of the 25. So that implies that this is just the stat. It's not an additive stat.
Okay.
Now this was something everybody complained about, because when you use the remote rate, was it not remote? No, the UAV specials.
Death from above.
Death from above. Yeah, when you use that, because it gave a +25, but it actually never gave a +25. It just went with the highest stat. And Kixeye explained that was the way that mechanic was set up on the UAVs.
Oh, so they just displayed it wrong on the blueprint, which is
right.
Nice. All right. So
change range says 35, and if you take the special away, it says 10. So
yeah, so it
unless it's a book. Unless it's a display book, it's adding up.
I think it's a display error, or it could just be that it's something new with the ship itself, which is why people are gonna Kixeye's reason as to why people will want it.
Awesome. All right, so nothing.
So yeah, it does at least. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, that it's adding 25. It's not.
Okay.
It's not 25 max.
Great.
Okay.
Alpha Behemoth. A lot of stats here. So you have 5 weapon slots for your UAVs, 5 countermeasure only slots, a lot of armor, quick repair, like a lot of these defenders. 4-day, 5-hour build time, so not totally awful. So it's got these damage bonuses, but the only one that really counts is the UAV damage, because that's what you're going to put on there is UAVs, hopefully. Chain count, chaining range, deflections look a lot like the Valiant. Low but non-zero combat speed. Thermal imaging range to see subs, but you're going to need something else to hit those subs, because I think your UAVs will not.
There was one UAV that was hitting underwater.
Yeah, there was one.
Well, there's the Valkyrie. Was the Valkyrie, or what was the UAV, or was it the hull that gave them that?
Yeah, one or the other.
And then also the other thing that, as far as the little tips and tricks, so to speak, as far as UAVs go, the +85 UAV damage works on your UAV. A radioactive damage associated with the most recent UAV, that's not added to the UAV.
Yep.
It's just the UAV damage. So once something is launched from your ship, well, UAV, there's only thing, but once it's launched from your ship, it's only the UAV damage that's carried on. The radioactive damage, the ballistic damage, whatnot. So if radioactive, you threw some launchers on there, that radioactive damage would come into play. But if you're using a UAV with radioactive damage, this 40% for radioactive damage does not come into play.
I think that's in case that you want to build it with something different.
Yeah, but I'm just saying a lot of people might want to combine those two. So that's all. The only reason I brought it up.
Right. All right, and then you've got the Bloodthirst, which is interesting because this is going to add on as this ship kills incoming targets. Now, if you use it in base defense, the only time you're going to see this plus 3,000 deflection is after it kills 5 ships. Well, after it kills 5 ships.
Do we know that, Larry?
That's what we're theorizing.
Well, I'm not theorizing that. I'm theorizing they haven't told us.
Well, what the forums said through Laredo is that it triggers with every single ship you kill, but
We don't know what the stacks are yet.
we don't know exactly how it works. If it works for ship that this hull kills, or likely others for any single fleet that the turrets and the other defenders.
No. Laredo did specifically say in forums that you get a stack for every ship this ship kills, not for what your base kills.
So you're saying that when I have killed 4 of these ships, I will get 2,500 plus 12,000?
We don't. It may be 1. We don't actually know what the stacks are yet. You know,
I've been talking to the team about this mechanics. It's based off kills, not damage it takes or damage, but killing off an enemy ship.
Right.
That's all he said. That's all we know.
Yeah,
we don't know how many stacks. We don't know
how many stacks we have to have. Exactly.
Yeah.
It may be 1. You know, you kill the first ship and you get Bloodthirst. We don't know yet.
Yeah, this is on page 2 of, a random post. I mean, he could have had too much rum. Who knows? I mean, this is unprofessional.
Space Dust IPA.
Yeah, this is unprofessional how they're releasing information associated with this, at least in my mind.
Yep, and then you've got another field that will trigger resonance batteries. That'll do the 500 deflection as well. So this will boost deflection of other ships in your guard.
Oh, but we don't know the range. Do we know the range?
They're in some range that we don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I hate the way this hall has been communicated. Completely.
Yep. All right.
It may be a good haul, but it may suck. It's just a disappointing haul. I mean, it's just disappointing the way it's been communicated to us.
Yep. Yeah. The more I think about it, the more I like Death's strategy there of just skipping that side if the HV rounds seem useful. So then you've got some DPS numbers with the various UAV choices. Again, the Cesium, the new one, still kicks ass. So
yeah, this is the one that I've stacked the special, the weapon, and the hull all together to try to come up with a DPS number. And chain plus 3 means that damage, that 39.7 thousand DPS is split only if there's 4 targets within the chaining range of the UAV. So 1 target is going to be the 9.9. 4 targets. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Millennium Gun. Many of you grabbed this in the special offer, but here it is.
It's still called Millennium, not $10 gun.
The Andrew Jackson Millennium Gun. Yeah, so good building damage, crappy ship damage, quick reload, no piercing, no splash, but nice damage. And then you see that in Hefe's calculations here. Building DPS, the Millennium is far and away the champion. Wall DPS, the Arbalest does edge it. Crossbow 3 is also very good. Per weight, you've got the Millennium again winning. Mauser here, not terrible. Arbalest, all right. Pack, doing all right. Even the Hammer doing all right in comparison. Crossbow 2, good per weight. Well, against walls, not against buildings. And then Earthshakers look good, but you're not filling up your total weight of your ship if you're using this. So really, you don't get to take advantage of this really high DPS per ton if you're using all Earthshakers. And then Alpha Strike, this is the damage you do right when you come into range. So, it's important to know in this raid mechanic, because if your Alpha Strike's high enough, you come into range and you kill that target with one shot. I don't think you're getting too many Alpha Strike kills, though, on these raid turrets, were you? Somebody was in the preview?
Not from what I saw in the preview, no.
Took a few shots?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't know what the preview, how that reflects reality either.
Well, in the preview, the way it was, the Mauser was blowing 4 turrets at a time. You were needing to play a bit with the charges, selecting one another. But if you put the Mauser on the Ironclad, you want to go straight for that damn short range radioactive turret, because that was the one that was doing the creepy damage to that Ironclad.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Yeah, this is old information, so we can move
Cannoneer.
on.
Yeah, I think we've seen the Cannoneer. Here's high velocity rounds. Did we miss something?
That was
we
a
missed
speed.
something. So, high velocity rounds, get those things moving. So you got a big projectile speed bonus, damage bonus from both ballistic damage and building damage. So that's a lot of damage to shake things up. And what's really great is, adding ballistic damage and adding building damage, you get sort of a compound.
It'll knock
multiplying.
things around, won't it?
Yeah, it'll really, really shake your target back and forth.
You got all the audience chat just quiet for a longer time I have ever seen, Hefe. So you have
It's almost
to
hypnotizing.
next level.
The way I set it up, it was only supposed to show up for like a second. Now Larry rewinded, so it's going through the whole time.
You're getting very sleepy.
Yes. I'm hypnotized.
Give us your coins.
Yes.
All right. So now that we've seen that and are all well enough.
There we go. Now she's driving a motorcycle at high velocity, and you can imagine the rest of it.
All right.
Okay.
So this chart's showing your various options with siege battery and your damage increase. You're getting almost a tripling of damage with the high velocity rounds plus the siege battery. So that's really nice.
Yeah, I think it was about, depending on how you weighted it, was like 25 to 27% damage increase relative to the siege targeting 3. I put in the siege reloader just because I kept on seeing so many people talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why? I mean, is it a build time thing, or they just love the fact that it upped the reload?
I don't know.
Drum reloader upped the reload a lot better than the siege reloader did.
Yeah, but the math on the drum reloader, it still was behind siege targeting. So that's not a good choice either. Unfortunately, I was high on that drum reloader right off the bat, but the building damage compounding, just the drum reloader couldn't keep up.
Yeah, the multiplicative, yeah. Oh well.
All right.
Oh well. Move on.
Harlock's Ironclad. So again, we're seeing the kind of stats we saw in the Ironclad. But then it adds, well, the Bloodthirst. And then the key, the reason you'd get the Harlock is the flagship effect. Combat speed and turn speed is what you get from the Harlock Ironclad. And that's really nice, actually. The Ironclad, if one thing people complain about is relative to the Cannoneer and some of the other really modern ships that are up in the 50s combat speed once fitted out. The Ironclad's a bit slow. This combat speed will really help the Ironclad because it's got to close into range. So if it closes faster, it's going to be more effective.
Yeah, and for me, the interesting is that it works the same way that the Die Seeker. You don't need to go with this whole with the rest of the ones you can own. So you can just keep this on a corner and just move the other ones around, or just build this one as the third one, because at least this time you don't pay extra repair time.
Yeah, you don't pay extra repair time, so you can build this one just as standard part of the fleet and speed the whole fleet up.
Yeah. I was even wondering, if you couldn't get the Ironclad because you're a total failure at the last raid stop, this is 30 million. You get this hull for 30 million. Forget the Cannoneer. And just run one of these around with Earthshakers or something.
Yeah, it would have been cool if we had a whip and we could decide what we wanted to do.
Just saying, it's an option.
Yeah, and if there is not whip, at least a roadmap, something. We need something, because we are so lost at this game at this point with the info, the way it's released, and how they change things and up and down.
Anyway. Yeah, just saying. I mean, I built one Ironclad with the 12 tokens, and I really like it all by itself. So,
no, it's a fun haul. It's like, I consider the Cannoneer like the haul that you use between, like, you get home from work and you use between 5 and 6. And it really depends on what the alcohol percentage of what you're, drinking, what you're playing is. And then, after, 7 o'clock, you switch to the Ironclad. Because probably shouldn't be driving. You probably shouldn't be driving a car. Then you drive the Ironclad. Yeah.
Can you afford to still wait till 7 o'clock using your Cannoneers before you change to the Ironclad?
Yeah. It really depends on the ABV of what you're drinking. Yeah. So it's
your driving skill.
Yeah, and your driving skill. So.
I mean, in the last raid, we did learn that half of all BP players are below average drivers.
Well, not that they were below, because there were some people that were high ones, but if Kickside provides you such a crap connection, you can be as skilled as you want. If you can't stop, if your ships don't stop the moment you want to stop, you can be the skillest guy in this server that you are going to die.
Fair enough. All right, Harlock's Cannoneer. Again, a lot like a regular Cannoneer. Flagship effect. Let's look at this. You get some stun resistance and you get some ballistic damage.
Well, plus 60 ballistic damage is pretty big once you multiply it with everything else, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah. Because doesn't it go multiplicative with like the building damage?
Yeah.
And then you throw in, oh my, now they're at legendary. Now you're getting like something that's just going to mow stuff down right away.
What worries me most is that stun resistant boost, because I wonder if that came after they changed the target. Because
here's the thing, though. Even so, think about it. A 25% stun resistance is not going to put you in the positive on your other Cannoneers.
Yeah, that's right.
You're still going to be in the negative on stun resistance for your fleet.
I agree, but the thing is that on the preview, I never got my ships stun at all, and now the flagship also provides stun resistance. I wonder what they have changed, because at least I haven't seen the final target.
Yeah.
Even the Harlocks itself is going to be a negative stun, because it starts out with a minus 50%, but then you get the plus 25 for the flagship effect. You're still at 25% minus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you need a double to get 3%, and that was agility system.
It's all about the ballistic. In my mind, it's all about the ballistic damage.
Yeah, the ballistic damage is just massive. I mean, this is going to just turn the fleet into a beast.
I agree.
I guess I'm not thrilled with 30 million points and 2 weeks of build for.
Yeah, the 2 weeks of build is the issue I have. 2 weeks, the 13 days is my issue with this.
Well, my main issue is that if you read those stage of the game from Winter, they were saying that the build for the core ships that we are going to use, those are going to go down. If you look at what is happening right now, and it has happened for the second raid at the moment, we are not needing just one fleet, but two. Because we are needing the Harlock Cannoneers, and then when Jefe gets a bit more pitsy, then we have to change to the Ironclad. So Jefe, at this point, is needing two fleets. The first fleet, the Cannoneers with the Harlock, is going to take him 72 days to build. That without taking care of the tokens, because I know that there are tokens in game, but I also know that there is people in this game that still doesn't do tier 5, so they don't get those tokens.
Yep.
So after 72 days building the Harlock Cannoneer with the Cannoneers, let's say 4, that's 72 days, he's going to need the second fleet, the Ironclad. The Ironclad, it's about 52 days more. So we are talking that Jefe needs 124 days, and that is 4 months. And I recall you all that you will only have this rate for 3 months. So can somebody explain me where I'm lost here? Because they said that they weren't making sure that reducing the core tech build and stuff like that, and I don't see that. I see that the only thing they did is split the build time between two fleets, but the build times are still there, because when you sum one with the other, you are over 4 months again.
Right. And by the way, if this raid's coming up next week, so really you've only got 61 days.
Next week?
62
Tomorrow.
days. Tomorrow, thank you.
Less than 24 hours, Larry.
So basically, you've got 62 days until the last raid of this cycle. All right. So if you're starting Cannoneers now, you will not finish until after this raid cycle is done, unless you're using tokens or coins.
Larry, are you the one that's teaching Kickside math? I mean, somebody needs to be doing it.
No.
And I think you're well qualified to do it. I'm just curious. I guess you're not the one. So
I am
you
not.
move on. But you understand my
could,
point.
Yeah. They could pay me.
Well, I'm guessing there's going to be a bunch of campaigns that come out every week, and some of those are going to have tokens to get these fleets built faster.
Maybe.
I hope, because I have got all sorts of offers into my shop, but none of them said Cannoneer so far or Ironclad. I got Zelos, I got Valiants, I got even Vanquishers.
You're gonna see offers for the Cannoneers. You're gonna see offers for the Ironclads. You're gonna see offers for the Alphas. We're also gonna see a ton of TLCs, because Kickside is just pushing the content right now to try and get people to coin.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
the
another thing
TLCs don't get me to coin. I do them coin free, pretty much every single one of them.
Well,
yeah, but there's a lot of players out there that don't, buddy.
Those 500 coins I just got, I'm not going to be buying gold for a while. Because I was already pretty full, actually.
I'd like to trade my medals for coins. I can't do jack shit with 562 medals, but 562 gold would last me a couple raids.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the targets. We're going over. So instead of using their punishing array of submarines, because we all love those so much, the Scourge have constructed underwater structures to hoard their precious resources, their purity of essence. These are siege targets. You should use siege class hulls or punishers. Anyway, so you've got these targets. Some of them already surfaced.
I think that all this info is not useful at all, because I can tell you there were shades in that water, but the holes were not coming out of those shades. They were coming from wherever they wanted. I think that the project was nice, but I think that one of the main mistakes of Kickstarter is that they try to do things look nice, but they don't look at the mechanics that they need for that, and that's the last that they get interest in. So as we say here, they are starting always the house by the roof instead of the basement. I think that you should work in something with a good mechanic, and then if you want, you go and change the skin for something that looks cooler. But make things look cooler with those nasty mechanics is crazy. Because, for example, those walls were supposed to push you. People were thinking on using them, exploit to make them be the new slicks of water on the water, but it doesn't work that way because it seems that it's going to push you in the direction that is more closer. So depending on where is your center of the ship, according to the wall, you're going to get pushed forward, backwards, one side to another, because you could get pushed anyway.
I have a quick question. Normally, I throw a mega slide in here so I can take a break at this point in the show. Is there any reason I can't do that now? You know, just like a 2-minute break. Because normally I take I throw some mega slides out there and I can walk away.
Go ahead. You can take a break. It's fine.
Okay. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right. I mean, I watched. I wasn't in the preview, but I watched some raid videos. I mean, I saw little. I don't know what you'd call them. Posts. There was something sticking out of the water where you kind of got into the range of the thingy, and then
buoys.
Buoy. Thank you. A buoy. So yeah, you saw the little buoy, and then you got close to the buoy, and then the stuff started rising out of the water. So it didn't seem like it was working quite like this in the preview. That there were little clues, not just water shade.
Well, the thing is that if you can memorize, you can do. And the only thing is that when those turrets get out of the water, they don't start shooting. So you can either push yourself away if you are not in the range of one of those walls, or start shooting or using a pinch. I think that using small pinches is going to help a lot of people to mitigate damage, especially when they get surprised.
Okay. That's a good tip. Yeah. I think the other thing you're going to have to see about this raid is it is going to be so driving and pattern dependent. If you start this out and you're having a lot of trouble, even if you have, let's say, the right ships, you might just want to wait and see, wait a day, see what kind of videos come out on YouTube, see how some other players in your sector are doing it, and, really look for advice if you're having trouble. Because, again, I think this is going to be really pattern dependent, even more than just skill dependent, like the last raid cycle. Okay. What else we got?
I think the next.
Yeah, so the EMP building, we talked a little bit about the stun. It will stun, theoretically, you, although we haven't seen that.
On the raid, the only thing that was getting a stun was the other turrets.
Yeah.
If you were using that range. And the Ironclad has such immunity that you don't care about getting close.
Right. So just watch out for the EMP. Don't be stupid. And then you've got this big-ass launcher turret that's going to track and try and shoot at you. You can outrun the flechettes, but this is going to encourage you to keep moving and sort of spiraling around the target.
I think the minimum speed was something between 38 and 42. If your hit has that speed, you don't worry about this weapon at all, unless that you go sitting.
40. Anything above 40, you're good.
Right.
That's what I heard.
And so, those no-engine Cannoneer builds that were kind of popular right when the Cannoneer was released are probably not fast enough. So.
Well, don't they have an aura that increases the combat speed?
Yeah. You're forgetting that, Larry. If you sit them together, I think that you could go without it.
Okay.
But and besides, if you go too fast, you are getting in trouble because you will have to go several times to hit that because you get far away.
So are your Cannoneers? Do you have engine or not? Because I added engine to mine.
Yeah, I got engine on mine.
Tito?
I have engine on mine. I use it. I first started using the one build that you suggested in your blog.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that the art was just sucked, I started to change things. But I always kept the engine on them.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue I see with that is that the fact that we saw in the Hellwraith is the fact that they, once you reach a certain speed, it exaggerates what's going on as far as the ships breaking up and not.
Yep. Yeah, you
You
gotta be
know,
careful.
yeah.
See.
Don't smoke crack, everybody.
All right.
Can we move on to the next slide?
Yeah, let's go next slide. So again, targets long-range ballistics, short-range radioactive. I think the big thing here is that if you have cannoneers and you drive well, this is saying that the only damage you're going to take is the ballistic damage, right? You hopefully should be able to outrun the long
And if your
range.
build allows it, because it's heavier, I suggest that you use the layered armor 3 over the CL3 if you are skilled enough to avoid that radioactive damage. An old member for this community, Paint Train, was using layered armor after using CL3, and his damage went from hour and a half to 30 or 9 minutes, something around that.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. And then here's a big picture view of what target is this, Hefe?
This is the 57.
57. That's massive.
Yeah.
For a
Yeah,
beast.
it's not the 75 or it's a huge.
Sorry,
target.
the 75.
Oh, okay. So it's
it is the 75 now. Okay.
Yeah, that's the 75, not the 57.
Okay.
All right.
But it's a large target. It's going to take some time, especially since all these walls are not there at the beginning. They're going to pop up and mess with you in some way or another. So it's going to take some time.
The only thing I found when I did this target is that if I could memorize more or less where the targets were going to spawn and be sure I was killing the turrets that show in some of these small platforms, and I could kill this big turret in the middle, that is the one that is tossing the radioactive, then the stress of the target is low. Then you can go at your pace, hitting stuff, because there is nothing that is going to hit you more. But keep in mind that if you select the target and you wait for your ships to stop and start shooting, everything is shooting at you. You have to keep always your targets at the max range of your weapons. If not, they start shooting at you.
Okay. And then the screw up. So instead of putting this information out with the limited time offer, they finally responded to some of the people complaining and saying, hey, you guys really screwed this up. What the hell? So Doom said, rather than nerf the event or nerf the Cannoneer, I don't know why you nerfed the Cannoneer.
Yeah, that surprises me too.
They decided to make the special offer of the Millennium Gun to Cannoneer owners.
Yes, this was the $10 or $20 offer that came
and look
to
at
everybody.
That.
And this is in response to people being a little bit spicy associated with that.
Yeah, look at that. That's the 7th of January, or January the 7th, that you say. If you look at the next paragraph, because Jefe didn't mark that one, he says, to be honest, this was a bit of an experiment, one we will likely not repeat in the future. We want to make sure you are prepared for the event, but giving a hull without the weapon and the special unbalanced the tech to target ratio. And it's funny because we are in the info started to come on day 10 or 11, so 3 or 4 days later, he has already forgot this, and we are not getting the special for the new Alpha Behemoth. So I think that the memory of these people is a bit short. They should fix that.
Yep. Because now, right, one of those hulls you're not getting the special for. Good job, Kixeye.
And I tell, it's so easy to fix it. Just put one of the two specials into that store. So you're redeem one in the normal way and the second one in the store, and people get fixed and happy. But no, they love keeping people unhappy, seems.
Yeah, I know, and this is so easy to fix. Nobody's asking for a free lunch here. Just saying, let us spend the 9 million, 6 million points and get the other special. Not hard.
Okay, you can click it again.
And yeah, so no credibility left. Raid targets should have been built based on cannoneers with existing ballistic technology. So yeah, the DPS you need to do these targets successfully is just kind of out of whack, right? And if you don't have these new hulls and new guns, you're gonna have a challenging raid.
There was a way to fix the target. It was doing damage, but the main problem, for example, with the main turret, it was the armor it has. If they have lowered the armor, the target would have been a bit more easy to do. But the thing is that you were having to sit, even with the Ironclad or with the Cannoneer, with the Millennium and the high velocity runs, and you were having nearly to sit just there, because I counted, I think, in one of the times, I think I needed between 16 and 20 just to hit it. And I was using Siege Sergeant like everybody. All my specials were R15, so it wasn't that my tech was low. I was hitting with the top tech, and I was likely having time to get a drink and offer one to Jefe before I could kill that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, more my issue and why I put the slide together is the fact that I don't know if you can go back, but the 38 hours later, rather than nerf the event, okay, or nerf the we just, they put the cannon out there for $10 to $20, and then afterwards, after people paid for it, we are going to adjust everything to deal with the cannoneer at old technology as far as the ballistic guns go. That's the issue.
Yeah, I said this a while ago. I said, you know what? You didn't get the gun with the hull. All you got to do is make sure the targets are tuned to the tech we have. That's all they had to do. It's not that hard. They couldn't do it.
Yeah, they could have just changed the numbers.
Yeah. Tune the target to the tech we have. They didn't have to fool around with the limited time offer. They didn't have to do any of this. All they had to do was tune the target to the tech we have.
I mean, personally, I have my own theory on this, but
well,
Larry, do you have one? Do you have a theory or no?
Well, I mean, certainly the theory, and you call these kind of theories tinfoil hat theories, but in this case, it really would have been easy to not do an LTO. So the tinfoil hat theory is extract as much cash as possible.
Well, my tinfoil hat theory was scare the shit out of them with the preview, make them want to pay for the weapon, and then lower the targets so everybody else wants to play.
Yeah, well, what I have seen from the experience of getting the whole in advance of that, get that VIP access, I think that the only VIP access I got was the chance to spend $20 or $10 to get the weapon. That is more than we normally spend on a raid like this, a normal raid.
Yeah.
But so I think that has all to me looks like a sort of tactic just to make people spend more.
I think they got
Yeah,
you. I think that over the last couple months, Kixeye hired a new employee, and it was a used car salesman before.
Maybe.
Because it says we wanted to make sure at the first that the cannon was available for construction per January event, and this was the best hull for the event. We figured that we could build a cannon using that would that with ballistic tech that you already had, and still do well enough. Were we saying from all shows that we needed the weapon and we were waiting for the weapon because we saw that the old tech we had was not good enough? But no, so we tell them what is happening. They don't listen. They come with this, and the funny thing is that if you want your problem be fixed, now you have to put $10 or $20 to fix your problem when the issue comes from their side.
And they set it up, and it's set up to do again. It's set up to do again because now you can't build a complete alpha, Behemoth if you decide to go for the complete Cannoneer.
Yeah, and they say they are not going to repeat that in the future. And man, when people from all sides of the United States look at that, they look at Hollywood, and what do you mean by future? I saw those films that were called Back to the Future, and man, they were in 3 days. I think they were 25 years back and 15 days forward, something like that.
No.
Not 3 days.
I think for Kickstarter, they meant that they weren't going to repeat that in the future, and that future was within the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
I see your point now. I didn't expect that one.
Now we're past that 24-hour point, so they can do it again. See, that's what it is.
Yeah, so 36 hours.
They went a whole
It's
day.
all good. Yeah, it's all good.
Without repeating it, so now they're good to go and repeat it again. Nice. All right. Well, I think that's the end of the slides.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, I can stop screen sharing. Wait a minute. Wrong button.
Okay.
You know something I got to say, guys, that I just have been totally enjoying about doing this show? People have gotten to know that I come on and do this show, so my base gets hit when I'm on here.
You are suffering the same now? People do that a lot.
They keep failing. The guy hit my base twice, and he's got me in a bubble now. He did 32% to my base. That was it. But I get hit now every week when I do the show. That's the only time I get hit anymore.
That's really funny.
Yeah, that usually to happen. That might be somebody that you said something that he didn't like, and the only way he can take revenge is go hit your base. But well, so please make your base soft. If not, you're not going to get funds.
He lost 2 fleets, so it's not hurting me one bit.
The last guy that hit me used 6 attacks, lost his ghost crawler, and lost all his stuff, so we only had 2 tanks sitting there shooting at my outpost with 1 missile on them.
He did
all that work for 1 medal.
I mean that's one of the reasons I like coming on the show now is because I get free base tests when I do.
Sweet.
Yeah, it all works for me.
Have you?
My game name is Carpe Diem, and nobody hits me enough.
They have tried. They have tried to hit Carpe Diem. That's me. Not Jefe, that is you. I can give your name if you want. But the thing is that the last that hit me told me, hey, you need to put weapons on your hulls. And I said, why? I killed your fleet 3 times without weapons. So why I need weapons on my hulls?
Okay. Is somebody's game name Liam99?
As well?
You should hit that base too.
Oh, the sub driver. Yeah.
Yeah,
we were gonna have him on
sub-driver.
the show to teach everybody how to drive subs, or
Kick size as good as doing
was
math
how to
as
make
he
tables, which I found a little bit confusing.
All right. Well, that's it for the evening. I don't know about you guys. I'm not gonna be able to hang around for an after show, but
Neither am I.
Oh, I guess we are all leaving.
we're gonna cut
We
it.
leave
No
them
after
with
show today.
Jefe. Jefe, try not to bite anybody.
Yeah, I'll be on the after show in case anybody wants to join. I'll be nice. Not like
People with families and lives and shit. Whatever.
Yeah. Why is Miss Professor not bringing you drinks?
I don't know. She had kind of a rough evening.
Oh my! This is the whole story.
No, I'm not going into it.
Miss Professor is a wonderful woman. So, despite what he's about to say, just
I had nothing to do with her rough evening.
Just-
She did it to herself, and
Miss Professor is a wonderful woman. So, despite
all right. Anyway, yeah, so good night, everybody.
Good night, Larry.
Good night, everybody.
Sleep well, Larry.
Good luck in the raid.
Okay. Night night.